ended, of course. We wanted to fight for that for the victory. But yeah, it's
be like, hey, come here.
It's a great car all around.
I done did. He was playing
But yeah,
American
right now
car,
it's a
Dick.
little bit hard to talk about something else right now when the boys are working so hard.
Sorry for the bad luck. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Nobody wants.
We talk about this a lot when cars get hit, Dave, you know, especially side to side. You continue on and everything seems to be fine, but that hit on the axle can do damage to the differential, the transmission, or whatever, and it seems like maybe that's what happened here. It didn't affect it at the time of the hit, but eventually...
You got to think the tolerances that the parts of these cars are made under are so small. So if one little hit throws it off just a tiny bit, again, it might not be a catastrophic failure immediately, but if it just creates a little rub somewhere or a little extra friction over time, that can create some huge problems. And we see the 36 now from Andretti Autosport back on track, several laps down. Unfortunately, like we said, it was a very promising start for these guys.
Who says electrical gremlins don't fix themselves?
It happens. It happens. Rasmus Lind's still in the car. They are. It's saying only one lap down, but that can.
I don't know that could be. But
oh, because he hasn't crossed the line yet, so that'll update in a second. I apologize.
But they've got time. I mean, just like we saw the 60 car, just like the 10 cars got a lap back. They have time. I'll say this, and watching the Corvette guys work, I never have put myself on the same level as those mechanics. Now I do, because that tool that they were using, I know how to use. It's a hammer. It's like one of the only tools that I actually.
They needed a bigger one, though.
It wasn't working.
But you talk about the 60. We saw the problems they had earlier. They went from 4th to 1st in that restart, then had a flat tire back down to the end of the DPI train and a lap down. And now look, Simon Pagenaud lining up in 2nd place in this restart.
I think this restart's going to be interesting, Dave. We're about to find out what kind of Acura Pagenaud has. Remember how aggressive Magnussen has been in the 0-2, and we were talking about it. The 0-2 seems to turn really well in the middle of the corner. It's got that good entry speed, and that direction change seems to be really solid in the middle of the corner. We'll see if the Acura has the same kind of front end bite.
As I look up at our graphic there, Magnussen, Pagenaud, Pippo Durrani, Kamui Kobayashi, a lot of aggression there at the start, at the head of the grid.
Well, it'll be interesting to see. You know, the last couple times we've seen the Acura versus Cadillac head-to-head battle on a restart.
I got bumped and put right into the pole.
They've been able to get maybe a little bit more rear tire temp through this warm-up phase and really just drive around the Acuras off the corner. So now Pagenaud sandwiched by 2 Cadillacs, the 02 and the 31. It'll be interesting to see if he can maintain that.
If you saw that from the cockpit of the 60 on these restarts, do you tell the driver that's in the car now and say, hey, do this to get your tires up to temperature a little bit more, because they seem to be able to do that. I did this.
Screen share, Zach.
It could be that. It could be a function of each manufacturer's traction control. You know, they're very different engines in these cars. You have the big naturally aspirated Cadillac versus, you know, the turbocharged.
That one that I helped you with that night.
In the Acura, so there's different power delivery. You know,
what are you talking
the way
about?
The car drives.
One where you got
could be
the
a lot
stop
of
and
different
made me
things,
do
but
it
it'll be
for you.
interesting to see if that trend continues here as Magnussen lines up for the restart.
You know, one thing Ben Keating was talking about the traction control in the P2 car versus
you might have. It might have been on the small
DPI that he was driving, and he said the traction control in that Cadillac is absolutely magic. You just turn in, point it, and mash it, and let the traction control work. So maybe that's what we're seeing there, James.
Look at Simon just wanting to ride the back end of Magnussen right there. Be as close as he can when Magnussen puts the pedal down, because he has control of the restart, and he's off.
And it's not like an original start in IMSA where you have to stay in column order or in order across the line. On a restart, you can pass as soon as it goes green. And I'll tell you what, that's a good jump by Pagenaud. What can he do with it?
Oh, this is the one with the bridge. I know what you're talking about now.
Awesome. Like you talked about,
Yes.
here at Daytona is just awesome. And he got close, but not quite close enough to outbreak Magnussen on the outside. Now let's see if he falls victim to Durrani in the 31 as they come off the International Horseshoe.
Michelin's not even close to being up to temperature yet, and it looked again to me like the 60 had a little hesitation in the middle of the corner.
Are you going to screen share, or are you going to sit there with your cockpit in there?
But it doesn't seem to be bleeding the pace the same way that we've seen the last couple times. He's holding his position a little bit stronger.
I get it.
The 02 is definitely taking off, but he's keeping the 31 at bay-ish.
And
Alright, good.
There's just under 17 hours remaining. So, you know,
let's rush, guys. Now's the time.
Ooh, man, I need to turn that down.
just learn a little something there.
Yeah, so you didn't lift. That could be a problem.
And maybe if he had to push it next time, he would.
And from the outside looking in, and I know the drivers Simon a lot better than I know Kevin Magnussen, but they are two very different people, two very different personalities.
I think Kevin came to the IMSA WeatherTech Championship last year and he really felt like he wanted to prove something. You know, he hadn't been in competitive equipment in his relative class for a long, long time. You know, running for the Haas team in Formula One. As he said, you don't wake up in the morning and dream of the win. Even in the best case scenario for them, that was not possible. So how do you motivate yourself as a racing driver? Winning is what
You need to
you
upshift
wake
there.
up for. So coming here,
I know that sounds counterintuitive.
got back in victory lane. They did get a win last year.
Say that you're fine. There's no need to burn your tires off.
Simon Pagenaud into one.
Pull it down the track.
Kevin
Wait, there's a car.
He's got that aggression. He's got that passion for racing again.
I'm wondering too if the Cadillac, and you kind of mentioned this earlier, James, a little lockup. If the Cadillac doesn't get Tim sooner, because that time when I watched Pagenaud through one, the car seemed to work better in the middle of the corner. But man, Ronnie not letting him get away at all. And again, the Cadillacs just look so good. Corner entry from turn in to apex.
Not a terrible line.
Well, and you would think, that from what we've seen so far, the Acuras need a longer run, a longer stint at the end if they're to be competitive for the win here with the Cadillacs, right?
Which is funny because over the years, the
Right,
Acura,
downshift.
the knock on the Acura was rear tire degradation over the length of a stint. And here they seem to have solved that. Maybe it's the weather that has helped solve it.
And I wonder if part of that was setup philosophy. Remember, both Acuras for a long time were run by one team, Team Penske, and then last year they were split. One went to Meyer Shank, one obviously to
It just fucking kills all momentum when you go out again.
sorry, Wade Taylor Racing. Yeah, I'm sorry, bit of a blank there. But yeah, so there could be a difference in setup philosophy. You know, there are many.
Yes, you just got to anticipate that and break a little sooner.
And obviously, if that was an issue that the Acuras were dealing with, the engineers at those new teams may have gone into it with, hey, we know this is a problem. Let's try to approach this.
Or just fucking kill the car. Waiting ready to do that.
Kevin?
Just listening to Scanner,
Get out of the car. Get out of the fucking car and go back to the lab.
led this race much of the way. Said, I don't know what happened, but I just lost power coming out of the bus stop. It seems like it came back, but that's a little bit of a concern for one of the favorites.
Part of your problem is you need to turn off that goddamn racing line.
Rolex to the point where he's running in two cars. He's got it taken care of in the
Did you hear me?
the number 5 Mustang sampling. He's hoping to finish things up here in the next hour or so for his drive time in the LMP2 car.
Because you're breaking off of that fucking racing line. You need to turn that shit off.
I think I know what the problem is power-wise on the 52.
That is wild. That is a piece of plastic.
I can't hear you, Zach. Hold on.
Itself around the air intake. That is where the engine is fed the oxygen it needs to run, and it is almost completely covered. I'm surprised that car's running at all.
Wow.
There is luck, there is bad luck,
What were you saying?
and then there's that. I cannot...
Yeah, but I'm trying to tell you that you don't want a fucking track outline on when you're trying to learn the track, because you try to learn your brake markers off of that, and they're not accurate. Because I'm guaranteeing you what you're doing is you're waiting till the red and then you're braking at the red. Isn't that all what you're doing?
Some sort or a piece of a tear off from the windscreen.
See, it looks like it's got a little...
That's kind of, that's why you want to turn it off, is because that's how you learn. Because if you just keep that on 24/7, you're gonna learn that fucking little red and green line. You're not gonna learn the actual track itself. That makes sense. Just work on